Yay! Can I do it again? Yay!
Hi, I'm Tierney and I'm here with my lecturer Jiwon, and we're here to answer some of your questions.
Okay, I've got the first question. What is the most interesting thing you've learned that has not been part of your coursework?
UQ was really wonderful in terms of the extracurricular things that we could do, and I was really fortunate to be able to take advantage of that in the Icarus program where you were part of my program. But I also got to go overseas, and so I got to go to China and I got to go to Canada and even Nepal. So I think as part of that, one of the things that I really learned is that it's a big world out there, but the experiences that you have at uni and studying your classes can also be relevant around the world, and no matter really where you are, as long as you take it with you. So what opportunities do your students have to get hands-on experience in industry?
Well, I think that we are now living in the world where a lot of digital transformation is happening. So I think that one of the most important attributes that the students are required to have is the digital literacy. In our school, we have the various types of extracurricular programs. One of them was called Icarus program, which connects a group of students with academics to give an opportunity for students to learn various the projects coming from real world context. So students have opportunity to learn and work with the industry, the partners and mentors. And I think that those opportunities are really important and useful for students to learn hands-on experiences for industry. What does a day in the life of an engineering student look like?
Every day is different. But generally, as a student, you will come and do a lecture in the mornings, first of all, and then generally that will be followed up with a tutorial. So a lecture, you'll be sitting in a rather big hall, learning material directly from your lecturer. And then in the tutorials, it'll be a smaller class, sort of more like school, and you'll work through problems and ask questions to get a bit more personal feedback. And then generally, you might do that a few times in the day, or you might have a lab, which will be like experiments and hands-on experience in what you're learning. And then generally, people will get together and do study for exams. And then often there's a lot of things going around on campus, so you might finish your day with a society event or just hanging out with friends. So it's a pretty good day in the life, to be honest. If you were employing the next engineering graduate, what would you be looking for?
I'll be looking for students who have certainly technical skills, because in the tech-driven world we live in, the students need that skills. But at the same time, I think that the softer skills like communication skills and also the ability to work with others, and such skills are also very important.
Yeah, totally agree.
What are the most valuable skills you've learned as part of your degree?
Well, that goes on pretty well from what you've just said. Obviously, a lot of really good technical learning happens here with our wonderful lecturers and tutors. So, that's really unparalleled, and when you walk into industry, it's really great to feel like you've got that behind you. But there are a lot of other things that I've learned here as well. Definitely networks and communicating with not only peers but lecturers and other people in a professional kind of way, as well as in a social way. And I guess being able to bring in the social side of things into those relationships to make them a bit stronger. How do you prepare students for the future when we don't know what the future looks like?
Because this world is unknown, and I also try to teach my students such that they can actually learn the ability to learn whenever some problem happens, the ability to solve the problems when they face challenges. And I think that the problem-solving skills and ability to learn when necessary is very important. What do you think employers in your industry are looking for? How do you think UQ has equipped you with these skills?
Engineering employers are looking for obviously students who know what they're talking about in some senses, but I think above everything else, they're really looking for people who are approachable, easy to talk to, and are willing to learn and give a go, and also willing to maybe fail, but pick themselves up and keep learning and keep trying. And I think those sorts of resilience skills and ability to be really interested in actually what you're doing so that you can push yourself, that's something that UQ really teaches you. Like, no one can tell you that it's easy, but you know, you get through and you really learn a lot by the way that you can, you study here and learn here. So, if you could give me one piece of advice that would set me apart as a job candidate, what would it be?
My advice would be to find what you really like and highlight what you are really good at. And although you think there will be a lot of things that you have to do well, and there are a lot of skills that you have to learn, but the world is a very diverse place, and there are a lot of jobs that really require specific skills. So just focus on what you really like and highlight what you are really good at. I think that you will certainly find the job that really fits you and your profile. This is the last question. How does the way you learn at UQ teach you the skills you need to face an unknown future?
Learning at UQ is really quite a good experience because although, you will learn things directly from your lecturers, you might not always. And you are often faced with challenges and problems to solve that may not have an answer that's clear cut. And a lot of engineering is like that. It requires judgment and no one can really sit there and say yes or no. So I did really find that although it's challenging in a lot of my courses, that's what my lecturers tried to teach me, that I could look at a problem, come up with a solution, and then have the judgment to say, is that right, is that reasonable, what's the justification for this? And that is a lot of what happens in industry because at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong answer sheet for life.